2017. When you look back on it, it feels like it started a year ago. I don't mean that to sound trite, it doesn't feel like yesterday, because being the editor-in-chief and a videographer with T2PTV, we really pack it in. Road trips, flights, days on the water, days in the air, days competing, teamwork becomes a big part of your life. When thousands of miles are traveled, A to Z events covered, and hundreds of hours of footage are collected, T2PTV becomes more and more like a family. We work hard, we work fast because we adapt to any situation, support each other, and can practically finish each other's sentences. Just as in racing, in production, one must be able to anticipate, perform well under stress, recover from mistakes, and above all, keep rolling no matter what. In the world of storytelling, we are the witnesses, recording the action so that others can see. Experiencing is more than just sight and sound, but with video, those are the only senses we have to work with. So how do you show someone how something smelled? Show someone the feeling of winter sun on your back? We do it by showing you the locals, trying to raise your blood pressure and at the very least help you recall a similar moment in your past. Hundreds of sailors from all over the US and overseas can get nostalgic about Quantum Key West Race Week. But video can also whet someone's palate in terms of new experiences. A huge, relatively untouched country with its own heritage, politics, and economy. The second year of filming the Conch Republic Cup challenged what I thought I knew about tourism's effect on culture and financial systems, and reinforced qualms about what influxes of cash and infrastructure can do to such a gem. Sailing to Cuba is doing the hike to summit the mountain. Flying in is cheating, and isn't even enough time to leave the first world behind. 2017 was also a monster year for storms, and one of our T2PTV family members on the Caribbean island of Tortola got hit hard. Their BVI Spring Regatta and Sailing Festival was destined to continue on though. Hurricanes may have visited, but endless summer lives here, and spring on Sir Francis Drake Channel is heaven. Simultaneously, names in sailing that people recognized left the M32 Cats in exchange for monohulls in head-to-head combat. We're all excellent match racers when we're spectating, but these teams didn't become famous in our little world for nothing. Professional means this is their lives. Like movie stars, they are paid to stay in shape. They have experience with pressure and can perform and recover from anything. There is so much to learn about balancing travel on the water, off the water, from watching these athletes. We're so used to watching that being on the stage ourselves was an adjustment in 2017. Thanks to the ideas of local East Puerto Ricans and the Boatyard Bar and Grill, we collected historical footage, interviews, and B-roll of a year in the life of the peninsula we are a part of. And we're selected in our first Annapolis Film Festival. For the most part, our content is online. For the first time in a while though, like live theater, we got to see the audience and meet other directors, producers, and videographers, all on this mission to tell stories. Stories on the local level, like the Nor'easterners sailing on Long Island Sound in the Cedar Point Yacht Club One Design Regatta. Boats popular in Connecticut and abroad, the weather reports reading 2 gusting to 25 weren't abnormal. Plus, the club and the island it sits on help to find the term local hospitality. Next up are some disabled sailing with an anniversary to boast about. 15 years of witnessing people achieve independence, personal goals, and Paralympic glory through this sport we all love so much. It's motivational, to say the least.
I had the Atlantic Ocean coming over the bow when we were going to weather, and I had my hair doused, and I wore that smell of the salt into my bed last night, and I cried. And I thank God for giving me a second chance.
In Annapolis, we have our own group that makes waves in outreach to new sailors, sailors with special needs, and generally making boating available to more people. T2PTV worked alongside Chesapeake Region Accessible Boating for several variations of their programs.
Well, I'm not in my chair, so, there's not that reminder, and I wasn't even thinking about any disability or just, it wasn't really there, so that was pretty nice.
And just to be able to be out here and to do it on my own, my confidence levels went higher and higher the more I was out here.
A lot of times, like, that sense of independence is what we're seeking all the time, just to be back on that level playing field.
There is a component of understanding what you're still capable of doing.
Having something new like this makes the next challenge that much easier.
Sailing is a community inside of Annapolis. You can actually say, "See you around campus" to a sailor of any age, and you could meet aboard one of the woodwinds that operate out of Ego Alley for anything from a race to a team building to a sunset cruise. Or you could mean every night of the week racing, like the penultimate Annapolis Yacht Club Wednesday night racing. It's where everyone who's ever worked at T2P has earned his or her stripes. Learn how to film, drive, commentate, fly a drone for sailing? We know that whatever happens makes the show. All skill levels, old, young, we all started somewhere, somehow, and all have a little bit of different needs when it comes to itching that competitive itch. Some start early, like female duos vying for the Women's Junior Double-Handed Championship, racing 420s right here in Annapolis. There's something to be said about amateur sailing. There are so many facets, and commitments to a successful program can be so significant that balancing that with family and a full-time job takes finesse. Qualifiers for the U.S. Sailing Match Racing Championship occurred all over the U.S. to draw in the best talent nationwide to crown a U.S. Match Race champion in Oak Cliff, New York. Sailing is one of the few sports where the equipment is larger than us. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. We sailors don't like to be protected. Don't coddle us. There's no confining court, no climate control. Only one goal line and rarely an audience. Without the roar of the crowd in real time, we are self-sufficient and supportive of our own team. If we were in it for the money or the fame, we'd be doing something else. It's purely for love. What can the actor teach someone a world away? What can a pro show an amateur on their local lake? Sailing is a lifetime sport because we can never stop learning. Knowing you're being watched elevates your game too. We may be a school teacher, an accountant, a park ranger, or an astronaut. We're still family. You just haven't met yet. Little known fact, Jim Lovell was the commander module pilot on Apollo 8 and commander of the Apollo 13, and an avid offshore racer during his time at the Naval Academy.
Implore you in your graciousness to take into your records and recollections this worthy vessel hereafter and forever time, Apollo. Started.
It's meeting people like him that remind us of the kind of crazy needed to be in a vessel where certain death lies several inches away in all directions, where no one's coming to get you if something goes wrong. And don't even get me started about space travel. What goes around comes around, and the more you invest in terms of blood, sweat, and tears, and hours in the editing room, it all adds up to a lifestyle that we love. It's not just about being recognized by an audience at a film festival, it's all of the days that led up to that moment. All of those great things like interviewing incredible achievers to the not so great things like those couple of capsizes, a few penalty turns, and an edit that ran till 4 a.m. And cuts, bruises, and sunburn that all add up to this wonderful life. See you around campus, everyone. For T2PTV, this is Ashley Love.